My beloved God chosen, tonight is unlike any night you have ever known. This is not just the closing of another day, it is a threshold, a divine line drawn between what has been and what is about to unfold. If you could hear with the ears of heaven right now, you would notice the silence. Angels stand in stillness, every wing stilled, every gaze fixed. The universe feels like it is holding its breath because the author of your destiny is leaning over the pages of your life. The universe feels like it is holding its breath because the author of your destiny is leaning over the pages of your life, his pen poised in holy anticipation. What he is about to write will not be ordinary. It will redefine the way your story is told. You are not here by coincidence. The fact that you are hearing these words is proof that the Spirit of God has guided your every step to this very moment. You have walked through valleys so deep you doubted if you would ever rise again. Nights came where hope felt like a distant echo, too faint to hold on to. Yet here you are, still breathing, still standing, still marked by heaven's seal. That alone is the undeniable evidence that your story is still in motion and heaven is not finished with you yet. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 26, this is impossible, but with God all things are impossibly. When the world sees an ending, God sees a beginning. When others say the page is closed, he turns it with a smile and starts to write again. Every delay you endured, every heartbreak you carried, every door that closed in your face, none of it was wasted. Heaven never writes in panic. God writes with precision and deep love. The storms you have survived were never meant to destroy you. They were sent to break the ground so seeds could be planted. And tonight, those seeds are ready to break through the soil of your life. You stand in the in-between, with the pages of yesterday behind you and the unwritten lines of tomorrow before you. When God begins something new, he doesn't just add a sentence, he transforms the entire chapter. He calls your name in rooms you've never entered. He opens doors you thought were sealed forever. He takes the very battles that nearly crushed you and turns them into the backdrop for your greatest victory. But this is not automatic. It is an invitation. Heaven will not drag you into your destiny. It will beckon you to choose. You must refuse to carry yesterday's wounds into tomorrow's promise. Lay down the pain, release the fear, silence the enemy's lie that you are too late, too broken, too unworthy. Throw it into the consuming fire of God's presence and watch it vanish into ash. Some of you can feel it now, a trembling deep inside your spirit. That is not emotion, it is confirmation. Heaven is rearranging events, shifting atmospheres, and preparing your place at the table of destiny. This chapter is not about barely making it. It is about stepping into the fullness of who you were called to be. The angels assigned to your life have been waiting for this exact moment. They guarded you in storms you didn't know you were in. They stood watch when the enemy tried to take you out. And tonight they stand ready to walk with you into the fulfillment of what God has been preparing for you in secret. Once the page turns, the atmosphere of your life will never be the same again. Do not underestimate this night. The spiritual realm is awake and the darkness knows what's coming. The moment you step into this chapter, you will carry an authority it cannot resist. You will bring light into shadows. Your words will awaken those asleep. Your very presence will release peace where chaos once ruled. And all of it will point back to the glory of the one who chose you If this word resonates in your spirit, act on it. Now type 111 into the comments as a prophetic declaration that you are on the first page of a new chapter and you receive it with full faith. Like, share, and subscribe so this message can reach every other chosen one whose moment has come just like yours. And as you do, imagine the ink of heaven flowing across that page. Right now, writing your next lines with power and promise. Imagine the angels leaning in to watch, smiling as destiny takes form. Tonight is not the end. It is the most magnificent beginning you have ever stepped into. Chosen one. Before there was ground to walk on or sky to look up at, this very night was already in the mind of God. Long before you took your first breath, long before you felt your first tear, He had already planned a moment where your life would stand at the edge of something entirely new. You're not wandering into this by chance. You are stepping into a scene He wrote for you before time began. If you could see the archives of heaven, you would find a scroll with your name written across it. Angels have carried it carefully, its words glowing with the light of God's glory. You would see how every twist in your journey, the storms, the meetings, the delays, has been a thread in a master design. Even the seasons that felt wasted were setting the stage for tonight. It's a humbling thing to realize you are walking in steps prepared for you long before you arrived here. The regrets, the choices you wish you could undo, the broken chapters. None of it scared Him away. He saw every detour before you took it. He counted every tear before it fell. And still knowing all of it, He wrote this night into your destiny. That means your mistakes haven't your purpose. Your wounds haven't removed your worth. In fact, the places where you've been hurt the deepest are often where His glory will shine the brightest. The letter to the Ephesians chapter 2 verse 10 says it plainly. We are His workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. You are not stepping into something random. You are stepping into something God has been saving for you since before the beginning. Think about that for a moment. The God who spoke galaxies into being has been arranging the details of your life to line up with His perfect timing. That conversation you overheard at just the right moment. The opportunity that seemed delayed but came exactly when you were ready. Even the closed doors that frustrated you but protected you. None of it was coincidence. Every piece was part of the script. Sometimes God hides His work behind the curtain until the right scene is ready. You may have felt alone in certain seasons, but now as the pieces start fitting together, you'll see He was never absent. He was backstage arranging everything so that when you stepped out, the story would unfold exactly as it should. And that's why tonight feels different. This is not just another evening. This is a turning point. The weight of destiny is heavier in this moment because heaven's clock says the time is now. Soon you'll look back and realize this was the hinge on which your story swung open. If you could see into the Spirit right now, you'd notice your angels aren't standing still. They're moving. They're preparing. The atmosphere is alive with anticipation. And it's not just about what you're about to receive. It's about who you are about to become. This is not a pause, it's a pivot. The next chapter is going to hold more weight, more beauty, and more glory than anything before it. Even the confusing, painful seasons will suddenly make sense. And what once felt like random suffering will become part of a testimony others will need to hear. The most beautiful part, God isn't writing this chapter without you. He's writing it with you. Your prayers have been like drops of ink. Your faith, the pen in his hand. Your worship has filled the lines with life. This isn't just a story about you. It's a story being written alongside you. So walk forward with confidence. You're not stepping into something unfamiliar to heaven. The ground you're about to cover has already been walked in the Spirit. The one who began this story is still here, still writing, still making sure that the next words he places on the page will lead you into everything he dreamed for you from the very start. And as you take those steps, remember, heaven's script never fails. What God has authored cannot be erased. What he has prepared cannot be stolen. Every heartbeat tonight is a line being written. Every breath a sign that your chapter is alive and unfolding. You are in the center of the story he has been waiting to tell. And the ink of his promise will not run dry until the final word is spoken. Chosen one, you've been carrying the weight of battles that most people never see. The silent struggles, the moments you had to stand tall while your heart was breaking. The nights you wiped your own tears and still got up the next morning. Heaven has seen it all. Every moment you thought no one noticed. Every quiet act of faith when quitting seemed easier has been recorded in the books of heaven. There is a reason the pressure has felt heavier lately. The enemy always fights hardest right before a breakthrough. He's not just fighting what you have now. He's fighting what you're about to walk into. You've been feeling a push back in the Spirit because your next step will shift the atmosphere, not just for you, but for those connected to your calling. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 30, verse 5, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. That morning is closer than you think. The joy isn't just a feeling, it's the evidence that God has turned the page. Understand this. Your tears have been seeds. While the world saw them as weakness, heaven saw them as offerings. Every tear carried weight in the Spirit, and God has not ignored a single one. You've been sowing in tears, but now you are stepping into a season of reaping in joy. Some of you have been wondering why God allowed certain doors to close when you prayed so hard for them to open. The truth is, he wasn't rejecting you, he was protecting you. A closed door now is better than a doorway into destruction later. God knows what's on the other side. And if he says wait, it's because the right door is about to swing wide. This moment is about agreement. Heaven can have a plan for you, but if you let your thoughts be filled with fear and doubt, you'll hesitate at the threshold. That's why the Spirit is prompting you right now, not just to hear this word, but to step into alignment with it. Here's what you must hold on to. The very places where the enemy tried to wound you will become the platforms where God uses you. The same mouth that spoke lies against you will see the goodness of God unfold in your life. The same people who thought you wouldn't make it will watch you step into what they said was impossible. And I need to tell you, this is not just about personal blessing. God is setting you up to carry something for others. Your testimony will be the map for someone else's freedom. The anointing that is forming in you is not for entertainment or applause. It's for breaking chains and shifting spiritual atmospheres. So as this word meets you, I want you to respond prophetically in the comments with the words, I stand ready. Do not type it lightly. When you write it, picture yourself standing before the throne of God, looking into his eyes and saying, I am here and I will not turn back. Let every letter be your signature on heaven's contract. Your public yes to the chapter God is opening. This is not a response for someday in the future. This is a statement for now. When you type it, you are declaring to every principality and power of darkness that you are aligned with heaven's plan. You are refusing fear and you are stepping into the role you were created to carry. And when you have spoken those words, linger in His presence. Imagine the angels moving swiftly on your behalf, carrying out assignments that have been waiting for your yes. See in your spirit the chains falling, the heavy yoke lifting, the locked gates opening. Feel the shift in the air. This is the moment heaven has been preparing. No tear has been wasted, no prayer unheard, no act of faith overlooked. You are crossing into a place where joy will meet you in the morning and strength will greet you with every step. Hold your head high. The battle did not break you, it built you. And now you walk forward. Not as one barely surviving, but as one marked, equipped, and unstoppable. You will not return to the shadows you came from. The fire in you now will not be quenched. And the vision in your heart will not fade. Heaven has set this moment in motion, and nothing on earth or in hell can reverse it. Step forth. Step forth. Your morning has already begun, chosen one. Somewhere in the courts of heaven, a scroll bearing your name lies open. The ink of the last chapter has dried, and now the hand of the author moves with intention. Tonight is not only a turning point, it is a legal moment in the spirit. In heaven's courtroom, the judge of all the earth has declared that the page will turn. Nothing and no one can delay the decree once it has been spoken. This is not a casual scene. In the realm of the spirit, the courts are places of authority and final decision. When heaven's gavel comes down, it silences the accusations of the enemy. Every lie spoken over you loses its grip. Every plan formed against you crumbles. It is here in the presence of the King that your new chapter begins, not with uncertainty, but with divine authority. The voice of God thundered in the book of 11. So shall my word be that goes forth from my mouth. It shall not return to me void, but it shall accomplish what I please, and it shall prosper in the thing for which I sent it. What God speaks in this moment over your life will not fade into the air. It will manifest. There are things that have been contested in the spiritual realm for years. Things that felt locked away, unreachable. You prayed for them, you fasted for them. You stood in faith when there was no sign of movement. But the page could not turn until the appointed time. And the appointed time has come. In the court of heaven, timing is everything. God does not move early, and He never moves late. Picture it. Your name is read aloud. The record of your life is placed before the throne. Every victory, every trial, every act of obedience is weighed. The accuser tries to bring up your past, but the blood of Jesus speaks louder. His voice echoes through the halls of eternity, declaring you clean, chosen, and ready. The sentence is not condemnation, it is commissioning. This moment carries weight, because heaven is not only turning a page for you, it is also sealing what has been written. That means your past cannot be rewritten by the enemy. It is settled. You will not go back to what you were before this moment. The story has shifted, and the shift is irreversible. Some of you have been living in a kind of spiritual trial without realizing it. The resistance you felt was more than just circumstance. It was warfare over the narrative of your life. The enemy wanted to keep you locked in a chapter of defeat, hoping you would believe it was your ending, but heaven's decree tonight says otherwise. The script is moving forward, and the author refuses to let the plot end in defeat. Understand this: when heaven turns a page, it is not like the pages of a human book. In the spirit, the turning of a page changes the entire landscape of your life. Opportunities begin to align. People you need for the next chapter appear. Resources that were withheld are suddenly released. It is as if the entire universe bends to the will of the one writing your story. The courtroom imagery is not just poetic, it is reality. In the courts of heaven, your destiny is a legal matter. Tell me, the promises over your life are not just dreams, they are divine decrees. And once they are read into the record, they must be fulfilled. That's why the enemy's accusations are silenced here, because nothing can overturn the decision of the judge when it is sealed by his word. This is why peace will begin to settle over you. Even before you see the evidence in the natural, your spirit knows the verdict has already been given. You may not have stepped into the fullness yet, but the outcome is no longer in question. The court has ruled in your favor. The page is turned, the ink is fresh. So, as you walk from this moment, do it with the quiet confidence of someone whose case has been settled by the highest authority. The story has moved forward and your part in it is secure. You are not waiting for permission to live out this chapter. You have already been released into it. Step into it with the awareness that heaven's word over your life will not return empty. For the pen of God does not pause until his purpose is complete in you, chosen one. There is something happening right now in the unseen realm that is bigger than you can measure. Your name is being spoken in places you have never been. The sound of it is echoing in the halls of heaven. And the moment those words leave the mouths of angels, alignment begins to happen. Things that were scattered are being gathered. Paths that were hidden are being revealed. You may have felt invisible in certain seasons, like no one noticed the sacrifices you made or the faith you held on to when it seemed pointless. But heaven has seen every act of obedience. Every quiet moment you chose God over compromise. And the peace of God who gave it to you. Every time you carried your cross when no one else was watching, these moments are not forgotten. In the kingdom, nothing done for God disappears. According to what is revealed in the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 16, then those who feared the Lord spoke with one another. The Lord paid attention and heard them, and a book of remembrance was written before him of those who feared the Lord and esteemed his name. Heaven keeps records, and your name is in that book. Heaven keeps your name in the spirit. Heaven, 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 heaven. Exactly in the beginning, there was a time, there was a little king, there was a beginning. Heaven, heaven, exactly in the beginning, the life and the legitimate words, doors begin to move on their hinges, and the resources of heaven start shifting toward you. It is the sound that precedes movement, and right now that sound is filling the atmosphere. There are assignments that have been waiting for your arrival. The angels carrying them have been standing ready, but heaven will not release them until the appointed time. That time is here. The calling on your life is not just a title, it is a summons to action. You have been prepared for this moment through trials, refined through pressure, and strengthened in silence. This is why you must not shrink back. The echo of your name is not just in heaven, it is also being heard in the camp of the enemy. And it terrifies him because he knows what happens when a chosen one fully steps into the anointing territories. Shift. Lives are freed and darkness loses ground it has held for years. You are not simply walking into a blessing, you are stepping into an assignment. And every assignment comes with both provision and protection. The God who sends you will not send you empty-handed. He will place in your hands what you need for the journey. And He will surround you with what you need to remain standing when the winds rise. There will be those who do not understand why you are chosen. They may question your qualifications or measure you by what they see on the outside. But heaven's choosing is not based on earthly measures. It is in the head, it is in the heart, it is in the eye of the wind. God selects based on the heart, not the room. He chooses those who will trust Him in the field before they ever stand in the palace. The sound of your name in heaven is also an invitation to partnership. Messages like this, prophetic words that stir faith, are meant to reach as many as possible. Every like, every share, and every subscription is more than just a click. It's a way of partnering with heaven to place this word in front of those who need it most, and for those who feel the Lord stirring your heart. Even sowing a seed into this work becomes part of the story. Your giving doesn't just keep the light burning here, it sends that light into places you may never step foot in yourself. You carry influence in ways you may not even realize. When you share what has blessed you, you are multiplying the impact. When you engage, you are pushing the message further than it could go on its own. Heaven's echo becomes louder when we echo it together. So as your name resounds in heaven tonight, let your actions on earth reflect your agreement with that call. Don't hide the light that's been placed in you. Let it shine in your conversations, in your decisions, in your boldness to stand for what is right. And as you do, watch how heaven continues to speak your name, opening doors and aligning paths that you could never have created on your own. You are living in a moment where the unseen is moving faster than the seen. What is being released now will begin to manifest in the days ahead. Keep your posture ready, your faith strong, and your eyes fixed on the one who called you. For when heaven speaks your name, it is the beginning of a chain reaction that nothing in this world or the next can stop. Chosen one, there comes a moment in every divine story when the mantle is placed on your shoulders. Not the one you imagined, not the one you thought you'd have to earn, but the one heaven has been holding in reserve for you since the beginning. Tonight is that moment. You have been tested in silence, shaped in hidden places, and strengthened in battles you didn't choose. And yet everything you went through has been forming you into someone who can carry the weight of what God is about to place upon you. This mantle is not a decoration, it's an assignment. It comes with authority, responsibility, and the power to shift the atmosphere wherever you go. The prophet Elijah spoke as recorded in the first book of Kings chapter 19 verse 19. Elijah went up to him and threw his cloak around him. That cloak was more than fabric. It was a transfer of calling, a release of spiritual authority, a visible sign that God had chosen the next chapter's leader. And now in the spirit, a mantle is descending on you. It's not given because you're the loudest voice in the room or the most qualified by human standards. It's given because you've been faithful in obscurity. You didn't quit when no one was watching. You stayed when walking away would have been easier. Heaven noticed and heaven rewards. When the mantle comes, it changes how you move. You begin to speak differently because your words carry weight. You walk into rooms and the spiritual atmosphere responds. The enemy recognizes it before you do. And that's why you may feel the resistance increase. The greater the mantle, the greater the opposition. But the greater the opposition, the greater the victory. When you stand, do not underestimate what is being placed on you. This mantle will open doors you could never force open on your own. It will also require you to close some doors yourself. Relationships, habits, and environments that cannot go where you are going. The mantle comes with a call to separation because what is holy cannot be handled casually. This is the reason some people have been drifting away from you. It's not always betrayal. Sometimes it's God's way of creating space for what is adding. If your hands are full of what was, you won't have room to carry what is now being given. When Elijah threw his cloak over Elisha left his old life behind. He burned his plows and slaughtered his oxen, the very tools of his former identity, so there would be no turning back. That's what a mantle does. It makes the old life impossible to return to. Some of you are feeling that tug in your spirit right now. It's not fear, it's the awareness that life will not be the same after this. And it won't. A mantle changes everything. It's not just about what you do for God, it's about who you are in Him. So receive it without hesitation. This is not a temporary anointing for a passing moment. This is a permanent marking for a lifelong mission. Heaven has weighed you, prepared you, and found you ready. The mantle is yours. If this resonates deep in your spirit, respond with a prophetic act. Type 777 in the comments right now. This number represents divine perfection, completion, and heavenly authority. It is a seal from God that the preparation season is complete and the fullness of His calling is now resting on you. When you type it, see yourself stepping forward, shoulders squared, head lifted, wearing the mantle heaven has trusted you to carry. You may not feel different immediately, but watch how things begin to shift. Watch how your discernment sharpens. Your prayers carry more authority and your presence disrupts darkness without a word. This is the mantle at work. And never forget, it's not about you being exalted. It's about Christ being revealed through you. The mantle is heaven's trust in you to represent Him well. Wear it with humility, walk in it with boldness, and protect it with integrity. Because once heaven places it on you, the only way to lose it is to lay it down. And you are not one who turns back. And as you carry it, remember this mantle is not fragile, but it is precious. Guard it in prayer, feed it with the word, and let it grow stronger with every step of obedience. The world will see the change, but heaven will know the cost you paid to wear it well. Chosen one, there are doors in your life that have been shut so tightly, you almost stop believing they could ever open. Some were closed by circumstance, others by people, and a few by the hand of God Himself. You've knocked until your knuckles were sore, prayed until your voice grew tired, and waited until hope felt thin, and yet heaven whispers tonight, those doors are about to move. When God opens a door, it is unlike anything else. Human effort can't force it, human opposition can't block it, and human wisdom can't explain it. These are not just ordinary doors, they are strategic gateways. On the other side are opportunities, relationships, assignments, and resources that have been prepared for you in secret. The Spirit spoke through the Apostle John in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 8. See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. This is not a poetic metaphor. It is a legal declaration from the throne room. If what opens it, no one, not the enemy, not a system, not even your own past can close it. Some doors in your life have remained closed because you were not ready to walk through them. God's delays are not denials. They are divine pauses to protect your destiny. If He had opened them earlier, you might have stepped in unprepared, carrying old mindsets, unhealed wounds, and unnecessary baggage. But now, something in you has shifted. You are lighter, clearer, and more aligned than before. There is a sound in the spirit right now, the creak of hinges that have not moved in years. Doors you thought were sealed forever are beginning to open under the weight of heaven's command. This is not a slow process. When God decides it is time, change can happen in an instant. One phone call, one meeting, one encounter can alter the entire trajectory of your life. These open doors are not just for personal blessing, they are for kingdom purpose. Some will lead you into places where your presence alone will shift the atmosphere. Others will position you to speak into lives you never could have reached otherwise. Every open door carries both opportunity and responsibility. And you will know which to walk through, because peace will stand guard over your spirit. It's important to remember that not every open door comes from God. The enemy can present false openings that look appealing but lead to compromise. That's why discernment is critical in this season. Ask the Lord for clarity before stepping through, and trust the confirmation He provides, whether through scripture, wise counsel, or an unshakable inner witness. You may be surprised by how naturally some of these doors open. They will not require manipulation or striving. They will open because the timing is right and your name has been spoken in the right places. God has been working behind the scenes, aligning people, resources, and circumstances so that when you arrive, everything is ready. Some doors will be connected to promises you thought had expired. You may have even stopped praying for them, assuming the time had passed. But in the kingdom, promises do not have an expiration date. They have an appointed time. And when that time comes, it will seem as if the years of waiting collapse into a single moment of fulfillment. When you step through these doors, don't rush. Take in the space. Recognize the goodness of God that brought you here. Let gratitude anchor you so the new season does not overwhelm you. Move with purpose, knowing that you are not entering by accident, but by divine design. This will also be a season of closing certain doors for good. As God opens new ones, He will shut others that no longer serve your growth or calling. This is not loss, it is alignment. Every door He closes is protection. Every door He opens is provision. So walk forward with a steady heart. The same God who has guarded these doors until now is the one who will guide you through them. And once you cross the threshold, you will realize the wait was not wasted. It was shaping you for this moment. These are doors no man can shut. And on the other side is the fulfillment of prayers you thought were forgotten. Let every step through them be a declaration that heaven's timing is perfect, His faithfulness unshakable, and His plan unstoppable in your life. Chosen one, not a single tear you have shed has been wasted in the courts of heaven. Every cry, every whispered prayer, every moment you lifted your face toward God in desperation has been recorded. They were not signs of weakness, they were offerings. And tonight the Lord wants you to know that those offerings have become the very ink He is using to write your story. We are reminded through the writings of David and the Psalms, chapter 56 verse 8, you keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle. You have recorded each one in your book. This is not a poetic flourish. It is a spiritual reality. God has been keeping record of your tears because they carry eternal value in the kingdom. Tears are not wasted water. They are prophetic seeds. Each one falls into the soil of God's promise, and in due season produces a harvest you cannot yet see. What felt like pain at the time was actually planting. What looked like loss was actually an investment. Some of you have felt unseen in your suffering. You wondered if God was listening, if He was moved at all by what you were going through. But tonight, hear this clearly. Your cries moved heaven. Angels were dispatched because of them. The heart of the Father leaned closer to you in those moments than you ever realized. And now the harvest time is drawing near. The pain you endured is becoming the platform for your purpose. The very situations that broke you will be the ones that make you a voice of hope to others. God does not just heal wounds, He transforms them into testimonies. Your tears have also been prayers in a language deeper than words. There are times when the heart aches too much for speech, and all that comes out is a sob. Yet even then the Spirit Himself interprets the cry, carrying it to the Father with perfect understanding. Not a single one has been ignored. In this next chapter, you will begin to see the reversal. The very things that once brought you to tears will bring you to tears again, but this time tears of joy. Where you once wept in loss, you will weep in gratitude. Where you once cried out in despair, you will cry out in praise. This is the mystery of God's redemptive power. He takes what was meant to crush you and makes it the cornerstone of your testimony. That is why you cannot despise the seasons of weeping. They were forming the foundation for the season of rejoicing. You may not have realized it, but your tears have been a form of worship. Every time you brought your pain into His presence, instead of turning away, you were declaring that it's still worthy. That kind of worship is rare and it carries a fragrance. Heaven treasures. In the days ahead, the Lord will bring moments of remembrance. He will show you where He was in the darkest hours, and you will see that you were never alone. You will recognize that He was carrying you when you had no strength to carry yourself. And perhaps the most humbling part is this: others will find healing because of the way you've endured. You will speak into situations you've survived. And your words will carry weight because they are born from real pain and real faith. That is why the enemy fought so hard to silence you. He knew your voice would become a weapon. So as the ink of heaven continues to flow, know this: your story is not being written in spite of your tears, but through them. They have shaped you into someone deeper, stronger, and more compassionate than you ever imagined. And now they are becoming the evidence of God's faithfulness that will mark this new chapter. Let this truth sink deep. Your tears have been more powerful than you know. They were not the end of you. They were the proof that you stayed in the fight when giving up was an option. Each one is a testimony that you still believed, even when you couldn't see the outcome. And now the author who collected them is ready to release the harvest they have been watering all along. Walk into this chapter knowing your tears have prepared the ground beneath your feet. Walk into this chapter knowing your tears have prepared the ground beneath your feet.